Well, my kind of narrow scope this evening is grassroots advocacy and leadership. Certainly we have elected officials out there that have worked very hard and deliberate for the conservative movement for many years now. Attorney General Mike Cox, who's here, and Craig DeRoche, and Leon Verlet, of course. We've got a lot of talented elected officials that are out there, but I don't think they can do it by themselves. And one of the problems that I've seen, especially within the last, say, 8 years, is the lack of intellectual capital that we have as a grassroots movement. We've kind of forgot where we came from, and that's unfortunate because we have a lot of articulate people and passionate people within the grassroots movement that repeat the talking points from the RNC or repeat the talking points that was sent to them from their specific candidate of choice. I equate it much to the NBA playoffs on NBC every year, where they say it's Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls versus Shaquille O'Neal and the Los Angeles Lakers. It's about personalities rather than the movement, and I think that's rather unfortunate. I do this in a lot of crowds when I get an opportunity to speak, and I don't want to show of hands, but I want you just to answer this question to yourselves. How many people know who Edmund Burke is? Russell Kirk, Richard Weaver, Frank Meyer, Friedrich Hayek, Ludwig von Mises. All of these are titans of thought in the conservative movement. Congratulations, folks, that's where you came from. And if you don't know that, you need to read them. Because unless you do, you're not able to effectively and efficiently articulate why you are who you are. It's great that you're for lower taxes. Why? It's great that you're for more freedom. Why? It's great that you're for liberty. Why? It's great that you're for this candidate. Why? Unless we can make those arguments to those individuals in our sphere of influence, the program that Dennis referred to that we run called the New Centurion Program, their goal is to find 100 individuals with which they surround themselves with, whether it's at church, work, neighborhood, anywhere, email, Facebook, Twitter. Find 100 people that listen to you and then share with them the knowledge you have. Friedrich Hayek in The Road to Serfdom makes a wonderful argument about living in a society and giving up everything that you have right before your very eyes. He was in Austria during Nazi control, in socialism and communism. And then he came to the United States, and he was able to compare and contrast the difference and share with you the message of freedom and how one lives in serfdom, how one lives in freedom. Milton Friedman, a perfect argument for federalism. Why is the federalist argument out there, I guess is the best way to put it? Why are we for lesser government? Because Milton Friedman says right at the introduction of Capitalism and Freedom, he says better at the county than at the state. Better at the state than at the federal government. Why? Because if you make a mistake at the federal government, there's nowhere else to go. If you make a mistake at the county level, I can move across the county line. You make a mistake at the state level, I can go to a different state. You make a mistake at the federal government level, you have nowhere else left to go. We are the land of opportunity and freedom, and much to the chagrin of most people that live in this country, or at least 51% of them that thought that Tuesday was the greatest moment in our history, I think there's a lot of us that would beg to differ, where we think maybe Jesus on the cross, or the 56 people in Carpenter's Hall, which then became Independence Hall in 1776. There's a lot of things out there that are great moments, but the reason that they were great was because people were able to share and articulate the ideas of why they were great. So I would encourage you, get a book, read, understand, figure out why you are what you are and where you came from. And I think we'll be better off not only in an elected capacity, but also as a conservative movement. Thank you.